And welcome back to America Decides. President-elect Trump is laying out his views on everything from immigration to the economy. During an interview on Meet the Press this Sunday, he said he'd launch sweeping changes on day one. Our Ed O'Keefe joins us now from West Palm Beach, which is the headquarters of the Trump transition. Ed, this was Trump's first television interview since winning the election. I'm wondering, walk us through what the main priorities he laid out for day one, which is, less than 2 months from now.
Yeah, priorities or headlines, either way you put it, Caitlin. A lot of news made in this thing. For example, he suggested tariffs are still on the table, but couldn't rule out the possibility that prices on everyday goods bought by Americans might go up, said he couldn't guarantee that. He says he won't allow Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to do much of anything to Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security as they go about trying to find efficiencies and cost savings across the federal government. Touching those entitlement programs would potentially come up with billions, if not trillions, in savings over several years. But the president-elect understands that's a political non-starter. He says he's going to push for the Trump-era tax cuts to be reinstated. They expire in about a year or so. Said he'll pardon most, if not all, of those charged or still facing charges regarding January 6th, and says he won't go after his political opponents like the outgoing President Biden, which is perhaps a sign to those that are worried about that he's at least trying to seek some a more conciliatory tone, saying that if there's any retribution, it'll come through the successes that he expects to have as president.
And Ed, a lot of headlines there that you laid out. He also said that he wanted to end birthright citizenship through executive action. Let's take a listen to exactly what he said.
If somebody sets a foot, just a foot, 1 foot, you don't need to, on our land, congratulations, you are now a citizen of the United States of America. Yes, we're going to end that because it's ridiculous.
Through executive action?
Well, if we can, through executive action.
All right, so Ed, the immediate question coming from that is, can he actually do that?
No, because it is an amendment to the Constitution, and it would require another constitutional amendment to reverse it. So he also said he would take this potentially to the states, which is plain English for try to get enough of them to reverse the amendment that allows for this and then potentially have it go away. So that's a pretty tall order. For him to suggest that he would want to do that through executive order, you heard him say there, we'll see. That may have less to do with the idea that he believes he can do that, but more just that it was brought up in his presence and he didn't have a good answer for it other than, no, I can't do that. We'll see. But immigration remains a big focus of his, and we know that those preparing to serve with him in the administration are making big plans for mass deportations and whatnot. And he also suggested, for example, when asked about the potential for family separation, that if there are children in this country whose parents need to be deported, they can go with them. That's repeating what Tom Homan, his expected borders are, has said, which is, and he said it to 60 Minutes a few weeks ago, that if there's families that have undocumented people in them, the entire family can be sent back. That will ultimately go to a court to be considered, potentially all the way to the Supreme Court, because if those children are U.S. citizens, why would you be kicking them out of the country, which, of course, is another bedrock part of the immigration debate.
Yeah, some important context there. He was also asked about his approach to abortion. Here's a little bit of that.
Will you restrict the availability of abortion pills when you're in office?
Probably. I'll probably stay with exactly what I've been saying for the last 2 years, and the answer is no.
You commit to that?
Well, I commit. I mean, do things change? I think they change. I hate to go on shows like Joe Biden. I'm not going to give my son a pardon. I will not, under any circumstances, give him a pardon. I watched this, and I always knew he was going to give him a pardon, and so I don't like putting myself in a position like that.
All right, so Ed, how should we interpret that?
I think that was a bit of CYA, Caitlin. He understands the politics on this might shift, and he may face pressure from within his own party to possibly restrict abortion more. But for now, as he's saying there, leave it up to the states to decide, which was an answer that worked for him during the campaign as it kind of inoculated the issue that Democrats were trying to make over the course, especially the last few weeks of the campaign.
Yeah, exactly. Ed O'Keefe, thank you very much for your reporting. We'll see you soon.